So our lesson is greenhouse effect and global warming. The content that we are going to cover is is first you learn about what is greenhouse effect, then you will learn about greenhouse gases and their sources, and next you will learn about impact on the environment, and at the end you will learn the mitigation options or preventive measures or controlling measures. So as a technologist, the most important part of this lecture is to learn the mitigation option of the greenhouse effect caused by the industries. Okay, greenhouse effect and global warming. Let's see what is greenhouse effect. Okay, greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect? Actually, the correct term is the greenhouse gas effect. Okay, but in the internet and in many textbooks in literature, we can see only the greenhouse effect. Okay, so you may have heard about in agricultural industry also there are some houses called or some huts called greenhouses. Therefore, the correct term for this the global problem is the greenhouse gas effect, because this effect is caused due to the greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and other gases. And the uh, other thing is, you should know the greenhouse gas effect is not same to the global warming. The global warming is occurred due to the greenhouse gas effect. Global warming is occurred due to the greenhouse gas effect. Okay, so global warming refers to the rise in the temperature of the surface of the earth. Global warming refers to the increase of earth temperature. Okay, so when we talk about the earth temperature, that means surface of the earth. Okay, then what is greenhouse gas effect? Greenhouse gas effect is caused due to the increase of greenhouse gases, due to the greenhouse gases. Okay, so an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases leads to an increase in the magnitude of the greenhouse gases. Okay, so this is called as enhanced greenhouse effect. So when we talk about enhanced greenhouse effect, it is mainly due to the increase of water vapor. So that means due to the greenhouse gas effect, the more evaporation is occurred in water bodies. Okay, more evaporation is occurred in water bodies. Therefore, the moisture is evaporated into the atmosphere. Then in the atmosphere, water vapor is available. So water vapor, you know, all of you know, water vapor is the H2O. So it is a greenhouse gas. So because of the availability of the water vapor, again greenhouse effect is caused. So it is called as greenhouse. Uh, it is called as enhanced greenhouse effect. Okay. So because of the greenhouse effect, the global warming occurs. So remember, those two terms are not similar terms. Okay, those two terms are not similar terms. So in this picture, you can see what happened due to the greenhouse effect. Okay, here, so you can see the number one. Okay, so number one, but you can see the sun's radiation enter the earth atmosphere. Then part of the radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface. Okay, so sun's radiation enters into the atmosphere, and part of the radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface, and part of the radiation is reflected back. Part of the radiation is reflected back. Then usually the absorbed energy again reflected uh, back as IR radiation. So the part of the heat is reflected back from the earth's surface as in infrared wavelength. Okay, so part of the IR radiation reflected back is absorbed by greenhouse gases. Then here you can see the number two. the part of the radiation reflected back in IR radiation is absorbed by the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So when there are greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, what happen? The reflected infrared radiation is absorbed by the greenhouse gases. Then what happened? Our atmosphere becomes hot. Atmosphere become hot. So here now you can see, as a result of it, the earth, as a result of it becomes trapped in the earth's surface, and it is re-radiated back to the earth again. So the trapped heat is re-radiated back back towards the earth's surface. Because of that, earth becomes hotter as a result of it. Okay, so we have more another pictures. I think you can show it. I have some of them, I have hide them. So in this picture you can see the radiation comes from the sun, the part of it absorbed by the atmosphere and the clouds. So there are gases in the atmosphere, part of them are absorbed by the gases and the clouds, and some percentage of some percentage of sun's radiation is scattered from the atmosphere. Then they are again reflected back to the space, and part of the radiation coming from the sun is absorbed by the earth's surface, and other part and some part is reflected by the surface. Then and some part here, according to this picture, you can see 20% of the sun radiation scattered and reflected by clouds. Okay, so when we talk about the greenhouse gas effect, what happened? This sun's radiation absorbed by the earth is reflected back to the atmosphere again, as in infrared radiation. Then this infrared radiation is trapped by the CO2 and other greenhouse gases. So that is called as the greenhouse effect. Okay, so in this picture also you can see the what happened in the greenhouse effect here. Absorbed radiation, reflected radiation by Earth's surface, infrared radiation re-emitted back to the Earth by the greenhouse gases. So in this slide, you can see the full story of the greenhouse gases. You can read it here. When solar radiation reaches the Earth, it interacts the Earth's surface in several different ways. Part of the radiation is reflected by the Earth atmosphere, while large portion penetrates onto the Earth's surface. The radiation reaching the Earth's surface is largely absorbed, resulting in surface warming. Okay. Then here now you can see the most of the absorbed energy is radiated back from the surface in infrared wavelength, which will turn interacts with the atmosphere. Okay, let me give a few seconds to get the highlighter of the PowerPoint. Okay, it's available here. Today the mouse is not working, so therefore it is difficult me to conduct the lecture through online, and after 3 months I conduct an online lecture, so therefore I'm not familiar with the system. Okay, it is available. So here now you can see the most of the absorbed energy, sun's energy, is absorbed by the Earth's surface and radiated back from the surface in the infrared wavelength. Okay, then uh, the reflected infrared energy escape back to the space, and most of the uh, energy is reflected back again to the Earth's surface, further warming the surface. Okay, this is called the greenhouse gas. Okay, so this process finally leads to an equilibrium temperature on the Earth's surface. This is called as greenhouse effect. Actually, so this greenhouse effect should be available in our atmosphere. Otherwise, the temperature of our Earth's surface will be a minus value. Okay, therefore, the greenhouse effect is a must. It is required. But what happened due to the industrial activities or due to the man-made activities, greenhouse gases concentration is increased. Then the Earth's surface temperature becomes increased. So here you can see this phenomenon keeps the earth warm, which would be otherwise be 15.5 Celsius colder. Okay, so when you look at this picture, what you can understand? What is this? So the plot shows CO2 concentration. Okay, so CO2 concentration is in red color. Here you can see it is in red color, and the blue color line represent the temperature of the Earth's surface thousands of years before the present. Okay, so this the present mean it is 2005. Okay, I could not find the updated picture, I'm sorry for that. So that the present value is 2005. So this picture shows you the Earth's surface temperature and the carbon dioxide level in the Earth thousands of years before the present. So when you look at this diagram, you can see there is a relationship between carbon dioxide concentration and the temperature of the Earth's surface. What you can see, so at the beginning, so here you can see there are minima and the minimum points and maximum points. So when there's a maximum value of temperature, so as in this case, here you can see that the carbon dioxide level is also high. So if there is a minimum value of CO2 level, temperature, then the CO2 level is also minimum. That means there is a strong correlation with the surface temperature and the carbon dioxide level in the Earth's surface. So, and this is just for your information. So, if you have watched the film called Inconvenient Truth, you may have seen all these diagrams. Inconvenient Truth. There's the film called Inconvenient Truth. So, if you have chance, you can watch it. I think it is not available in the internet. So, if you find it, please share with me. Please share the link with me. But I have the CD in the film called Inconvenient Truth. So when you watch that film, you can see all these figures. So what is this? This is in 1928. This is a picture of one of glacier in Washington. Okay, and here you can see the snow is available. But in year 2000, the a photo has taken of same glacier, but when you look at here, you can see there is a very few amount of snow. What happened? It is due to the global warming, due to the greenhouse effect. What happened due to the greenhouse gas effect? Global warming occurs. Because of that, those glaciers are disappearing. So anyway, so now you understand. Now you understood that there's a relationship between Earth's surface temperature and the carbon dioxide level. So all of you know the CO2 is a greenhouse gas. So if there are greenhouse gases, or if there are CO2 in the atmosphere, greenhouse effect is increased, then the global warming occurs. Okay, I'll switch off the video for your convenience, then you can concentrate on the lecture. I hope all of you can show, not show, you can see the slides and you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you, madam.
Okay, I'll switch off the video. Then it is better for you to follow the lecture. කොහොමද මේක off කරන්නේ? Let's see. Okay. Then what is this graph? So this graph, what is this one? This is global average temperature versus time from 1860 to 2000. From 1860 to year 2000, it is year 1990, like that. So what can you understand? From 1862 year 2000, the global average temperature, actually this is global average earth surface temperature, is increasing. So now here you can see the average temperature is around 13.5 in at the beginning in 1860, and in 1995 it is 14.4. It is the average temperature, but according to the Sri Lankan context, you know, the average temperature is is around 27 or 30. Okay, this is global average temperature. So what can you understand? With the time, average temperature is increasing from 13.5 Celsius to 14.5. Okay, and there's a zigzag pattern also. Zigzag pattern. So there's a it is zigzag pattern. Then what is this one? This is this graph represent the carbon dioxide level with the time. Okay, from 1955 to year 2000, the CO2 level, carbon dioxide level at Mauna Loa, Hawaii. Okay, so Mauna Loa, Hawaii is, I think, one of the glacier. Okay, you can check. So there are some method to measure the CO2 level. Uh, so I'm not going to talk about it. So from that method, some scientists have taken the CO2 measurement from 1955 to 2000. So as average, you can understand the CO2 level is increasing with the time. The CO2 level is increasing with the time. At 1955, it was around 315, and in year 2000, it was around 365. 365. I hope when you are at when you are at school, during our school days, you learn that the carbon dioxide concentration is in the atmosphere is around uh, 0.038, 0.038 or something, or 380 ppm. So now what is the carbon dioxide concentration now? What do you think? What is the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere now? Now it has exceed 400 ppm also. It has exceed 400 ppm. Here now you can see the CO2 level is increasing with the time, but there's a zigzag pattern. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for zigzag pattern. That means first it was increased, then the CO2 level was decreased. Again, it was increased, decreased. It has a zigzag pattern. Okay, some of our student has raised your hand. What's the reason for that? Do you have any question? මොකක් හරි අහන්න තියෙනවද? කවුරු හරි මේ අතස්සුව නේද? Okay, so I think there is no question. So I'm continuing the lecture. Okay, then here, this one. So these data are not updating. Actually, those data is some of them are not available in textbooks. Okay, so this is the main constituents of the Earth atmosphere. Nitrogen concentration is nitrogen percentage in the atmosphere is 78%. Yes, one of you wanted to ask any question? මොකක් හරි අහන්න තියෙනවද කාට හරි? නෑනේ. Then oxygen level is 21%. Argon is a inert gas. Argon inert gas. Remember, it is not a greenhouse gas. And nitrogen, oxygen, also they are not greenhouse gases. Then water vapor is depend on the place. It is from 0 to 4%. Then carbon dioxide level is 0.037%. So this is in year 2000 or something. But now it is increased to 0.04. I think it may be 420 ppm. Okay, so so these are the main constituents. I included just for your information. Then greenhouse gases. So these are the main greenhouse gases that we have to worry. Okay, so these are some of the greenhouse gases emitted from the industries. Okay, according to the Kyoto Protocol, 6 greenhouse gases are covered under the Kyoto Protocol. They are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbon, perfluorocarbon, and sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur hexafluoride. I hope you can easily identify the name of these gases. Hydrofluorocarbon, perfluorocarbon, and sulfur hexafluoride. So those are the main greenhouse gases covered under the Kyoto Protocol. Then what is Kyoto Protocol? So Kyoto is a city of Japan. Then what is Kyoto Protocol? According to the United Nations, there is a international treaty or international agreement uh, for to reduce the greenhouse gas effect, to reduce the global warming. The international treaty or international agreement was signed within many countries, within some countries. Okay, but USA, United States of America, and UK, Australia, and some countries, they did not ratify the Kyoto Protocol. They did not ratify, mean they did not sign that international treaty. They did not sign. Okay. So according to the Kyoto Protocol, so we have to reduce the emission of these gases. Okay, like in Montreal Protocol. So Montreal Protocol is about the depletion of ozone layer. So likewise, there's an international treaty or international agreement signed by different parties, different countries. It is called as Kyoto Protocol. So let's see examples for greenhouse gases. So all of you know nitrogen, oxygen, they are not greenhouse gases. They do not have potential to absorb the IR wavelength range. Therefore, do not have a significant role in setting the surface of temperature of the planet. Okay, so greenhouse gases are efficient in absorbing infrared radiation. Okay. So the most important greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane. So those are the naturally available gases. But according to the Kyoto Protocol, it is concerned about carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, N2O, hydrofluorocarbon, perfluorocarbon, and sulfur hexafluoride. Okay. So the most abundant greenhouse gas in the atmosphere is water vapor. It is abundant because due to the evaporation when there is sunlight. So water is emitted, water is evaporated from the water bodies. So it is abundant greenhouse gas. Okay, so when you look at the percentage here, so water vapor percentage is available up to 4%. So now it can be increased also. So let's see some about some selected greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide. So these are the sources from fossil fuel burning and deforestation. CO2 is emitted. So all of you know the fossil fuel contains organic matter, CHO, uh, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay? All of you know it contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So during the combustion process, what happens? These organic matter are react with oxygen and emit CO2, H2O, and other things. Then deforestation. Deforestation means the remove forest. The forest are destroyed. Okay? The forest are destroyed. So all of you are familiar with the photosynthesis process. What happened in the photosynthesis process? The CO2 plus H2O produce glucose and oxygen with the presence of sunlight by the chlorophyll. So it is done by the photosynthesis process. So by destroying forest, what happened? By destroying forest, what happened? There is no plants. There are no plants to do the photosynthesis process. So therefore, there is no place to absorb the CO2 from the atmosphere. So therefore, due to deforestation process, the CO2 level of the atmosphere is increased. Okay? And the other thing is, if you are familiar with the carbon cycle, uh, you can easily understand. So anthropogenic increase, due to the anthropogenic increase, the 30% of the CO2 level is increased. Due to the anthropogenic activities, 30% of the CO2 is increased because there are naturally carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So as you know, all the humans, animals, and uh, plants, they release CO2 during the respiration process. So due to the man-made activities, due to the industries, 30% of the CO2 level is increased. Okay. Then average atmospheric residence time is 500 years. So what is it? Atmospheric residence time. Atmospheric residence time. What is it? Okay. Okay, I will explain it in the next slide. Okay. Then methane. Methane, the sources are during the rice cultivation in paddy fields, methane is emitted. Then cattle and sheep ranching. That means වමාරනවා. හරක් වමාරනවා කියන්නේ so during they can emit CO methane. Then decay from landfills and mine sites, methane is emitted. Then naturally methane is available in the atmosphere because of the in marsh and swamps, methane is emitted in marshy lands. Due to the anthropogenic activities, 145% amount of methane is increased. Methane level is increased. Average atmospheric residence time is 7 to 10 years. Okay, then N2O, nitrous oxide. So industries, in some industries, they emit nitrous oxides. And once we use fertilizers during the production process and once they decay, N2O is emitted. So average atmospheric time is 140 to 190 years. So what is residence time? Residence time means as example here, carbon dioxide residence time is 500 years. So one molecule of carbon dioxide take 500 years of period to go beyond the atmosphere or enter into the space. So if those greenhouse gases are available in our atmosphere, the only global warming occurs. The global warming is occur if if greenhouse gases available in our atmosphere. If they are not available within our atmosphere, they cannot do a effect. They cannot trap heat, and they cannot send back the infrared radiation to our Earth's surface. Okay, so if they go beyond our atmosphere, or if they enter into the space, uh, they have no effect. So that's why it is mentioned the residence time. The residence times of CO2 is 500 years, and methane residence time is 7 to 10 years. So when we consider the residence time, methane is not harmful like CO2. But when we consider the degree of global warming, methane has a high capacity than that of the CO2. Methane has a higher capacity of global warming than that of the CO2. But when we consider the residence time, it is okay. So now you can see carbon dioxide culprits or greenhouse gases culprits. So now all of you understand, due to the deforestation, carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere is increased. By destroying forests, there is no one to absorb the CO2. There is no CO2 sinks. Then electricity generation. So all of you know the fossil fuels are burned to generate electricity. The coal power plant and the diesel power plants. Okay, so during the combustion process, what happened? The CO2 is emitted. So these are the major culprits of the greenhouse gases. And in transportation sector, so diesel driven vehicle, gasoline driven vehicle, even they are LP gas converted engines, they also release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And industries. So industries also use fossil fuels to generate energy. So those are the main culprits. The power generation sector, transportation, industry. The other one is the deforestation. Then nitrous oxide, I talked about in the previous slide. Anyway, it is a colorless greenhouse gas. It has a sweet odor. It is primarily used for anesthetic purposes in medical industry. N2O are emitted by nitrogen-based fertilizers also, and disposing of sewage treatment plants, again N2O are emitted. So if you are familiar with the nitrogen cycle also, you can easily understand what happened in the sewage treatment plant. So if you do not understand this, please refer the nitrogen cycle. Then from automobile exhaust also N2O can be emitted, because all of you know that NOx can be emitted during the combustion process. If it is in a coal power plant or in a power uh, in combustion process, NOx can be emitted. So one of nitrogen oxide can be a N2O. And during some industrial processes also N2O is emitted. Then sulfur hexafluoride, uh, it is used as an alternative to oil in insulating high voltage power transformers, sulfur hexafluoride, and it is also used for medical purposes. And it is colorless, odorless, non-toxic, non-flammable gas. Look at that, they are non-toxic, non-flammable, odorless, colorless gas. So, but they have uh, potential to cause global warming, because they can absorb infrared wavelength radiation. See, even they are non-toxic or non-flammable, they can absorb infrared radiation. So that's why we have to consider to reduce the emission of those things. Then perfluorocarbon. Okay, perfluorocarbon compounds derived from hydrocarbons by replacement of hydrogen with fluorine atom. Compounds derived from hydrocarbons, replacement of hydrogen with fluorine atom. Okay, so last week that means in last Tuesday I conducted the lectures in the classroom only for the polymer students. So for in that lecture I explain about the chlorofluorocarbon, and I explain how to find the chemical formula of the chlorofluorocarbon. So in your lecture note you can find CFC11, CFC12, like that. So if you are given the formula, see, name or the trade name, then you know how to find the chemical formula. I told you how to find it. For the chemical engineering students, I will conduct this lecture later because all of you are absent for that classroom lecture which was held in last week. If I could not get a time for that, I will record the lecture and upload into the Moodle. So in ozone problem lesson, you have to learn about chlorofluorocarbon. So in chlorofluorocarbon, CFC mean carbon, fluorine, and the chlorine. So instead of having a fluorine atom, we can replace hydrogen atom. So those are called as the perfluorocarbon. Perfluorocarbon. So compounds derived from hydrocarbons by replacement of hydrogen with fluorine atom. So they are made of carbon and fluorine atoms only. So they are colorless, high density gases. They are used in medical application, cosmetics, refrigerant, fire extinguishing agent, electrical and electronic apparatus as insulator. So last week you learn about ozone problem. Listen. So under that you learn that refrigerant and agent in the air conditioning systems, those are responsible for the ozone layer depletions. So uh, in before 2005, before Montreal Agreement was adopted, the industries used chlorofluorocarbon, especially CFC11 and CFC12, as a refrigerant or as a air conditioning agent. But due to the after the adoption of the Montreal Protocol, the production, distribution, and consumption of chlorofluorocarbon were stopped, and it is banned to use the chlorofluorocarbon. Now there are alternatives. So one alternative is a perfluorocarbon, and in my lecture notes you can find the alternative is HCFC, hydrochlorofluorocarbon. Hydrochlorofluorocarbon. And so instead of having a chlorine atom, the hydrogen is replaced. So now here the perfluorocarbons are used as refrigerant and even in medical application and in other applications. So those are colorless high density gases. They are high density. Because of that, they are not going up, and it is not possible to uh, go beyond our our atmosphere or to enter the space. Because of that they have high potential, and even they can absorb the uh, IR wavelength. Because of that, they are considered as greenhouse gases in the Kyoto Protocol. So these are the example: the tetrafluoromethane, hexafluoroethane, octafluoropropane. Then the next greenhouse gas considered in the Kyoto Protocol is HFC, hydrofluorocarbon. Okay, so it is again a substitute for chlorofluorocarbon in refrigerant system. So HFC, hydrofluorocarbon, do not break down the ozone molecule, but they do trap heat in the atmosphere, making it a greenhouse gas. HFC are used in air conditioners and refrigerators. Okay, so now what shall we do? So we have to use these gases for our different purposes. So what can we do? So the way to reduce emission of this gas is be sure that in both devices the coolant is recycled and all leaks are properly fixed. So we should know the coolant should be recycled and all the leaks has to be properly fixed. Otherwise, those gases can be entered in the atmosphere, and since they are very high density gases, high dense gases, they are available in the lower atmosphere. So because of that, they can cause global warming. Therefore, we should be ensure not to have leaks in the equipment, in the instrument, and it should be able to recycle. And if we want to throw away the appliances or the equipment, we uh, should be sure about to recover the coolant in each equipment. So so those are the preventive measures that we can do, not to release them into the atmosphere. The coolant has to be recycled, and all the leaks and spillage has to be managed. And before they throw down to the dumps, we have to recover the coolant. Then other greenhouse gas is the methane. Methane. So it is 23 times more powerful as a greenhouse gas than CO2. It is 23 times more powerful as CO2. Okay. So livestock sector is a major player. The Pashu Sampath the livestock sector is a major culprit for the emission of CO2. And through their burps can gudus යනවා කියලා. So through their burps the methane is emitted. So uh, so we can say, how can we reduce the emission of methane? So as we can propose, it is better to consume less meat. So if we consume less meat, then we can reduce the global warming than not driving cars. Okay. So if we reduce the meat consumption and also the consumption of milk powder, then we can reduce the global warming that than not driving cars, because the methane is 23 times more powerful gas than the CO2. Okay, so here now you can see the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere in year 2000 is 370 ppm. Now this is year 2020, so it should be more than 400 ppm. Okay, so why do we want to worry about the greenhouse gases, or why do you want to worry about the greenhouse effect? So there are many bad impacts on the environment. There are many bad impacts. So the first impact is the global warming. Okay, global warming. So because of the global warming, the climate is changed. Climate is changed. Because of that, the precipitation is relocated. The precipitation mean it may be the snow precipitation or the rainfall. Okay, then it causes heavy rainfalls, droughts in some areas, flooding in some areas. So due to the greenhouse effect, the climate is changed. Then the sea level is rises. The sea level rises due to the melting of glaciers. Due to the melting of glaciers, the water level is increased. And again, the melting of polar ice caps. The glaciers are available in the land. The glaciers are available in the land. So, and the polar ice caps are available in the sea. So melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, again sea level rises. And the other one is due to the increase of temperature, Earth's surface of temperature, due to the increase of Earth's surface, what happened? Uh, Seawater, the volume of seawater is expanded. The volume of seawater is increased. Therefore, the sea level rises. Then the other bad impacts of the global warming is health effects. Health effects. Heat stress. Then vector-borne diseases like dengue, malaria, and plague. So dengue. was not available in 1970s or 1980s. Dengue. So because of the increase of Earth's surface, the mosquitoes, the dengue, the mosquito can easily spread malaria, plague. So those are vector-borne diseases. Plague is Mahamari that caused due to the rats and mouses. Then heat stress. So this is not familiar with to us, but in the people in Bangladesh, India. So you may heard that some people are suffering from heat stress and they died. Then because of the global warming, the dramatic effects are caused to the ecosystem. Okay, it affects to the mangroves. It affects to the mangroves. Okay, so here. Okay, dramatic effect on ecosystem. Effects of the mangroves, marshes. Mangroves mean the Kadulana. Okay, due to the sea level rises, what happened that the seawater comes to the comes inside to the countries. Because of that, the it affects to the mangroves because the pH level is increased, salinity is increased, the salinity is changed, the pH level is increased. Therefore, the mangroves, marshes are affected. Then coastal wetlands are also affected. Estuaries are affected. Then it also affect to the economy and recreational industry, tourism. So here this is the game called skiing. So if the glaciers are melting, if the ice caps are not available, so those the tourists will not go for those areas. So economies affected. Tourism is also affected. The recreational industry also affected. So if you find you can find from the internet there are many impacts on the environment caused due to the greenhouse gas effect. Okay, these are some of the impacts that I shared with you for your information. Then let's see the mitigation options. Okay, so these are the most important thing that you have to should know, the mitigation options. So are all of you following the lecture? Are all of you following the lecture? I cannot see any of you. අහගෙන ඉන්නේ?
Yes, madam.
හරි මට හරියටම ඇහෙන්නේ නෑ. හරි කමන්න. Okay. Okay, so this is the most important slide. Here you can see only there are one or two slides. Okay, actually there are only two slides. Those are the most important thing. Okay, what is first one? Fuel switching in electricity generation system. So by fuel switching, we can reduce the global warming or we can reduce the greenhouse gas effect. How? All of you know. So most of the power generation sector is mainly run by the coal power plants. So even in our country, 90% of the electricity is generated from the coal power plant. So last week I told you to find about the capacities of those power plants. All of you know now. The Noracholi power plant has 3 into 300 megawatts. That means around 90 megawatts capacity. But when you consider the Mahavali hydropower plants, it has a very less value. Okay, so in most of the countries, the coal is used to generate power, and also the කවුද මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? Okay, so The fossil fuel, the coal is also a fossil fuel. The fossil fuel is used to generate the power, and uh, so without using fossil fuel, we can use a cleaner fuel. So it is called as the fuel switching. Okay, so it is called as the fuel switching. Instead of using fossil fuel, we can use a cleaner fuel. So what are the cleaner fuels when we consider the greenhouse gas effect? So can you tell me what are the cleaner fuels? So we can use nuclear uh, power. We can use nuclear power. It is associated with risk, and it is a high risk. Uh, but it is a cleaner fuel when we consider the greenhouse gas effect caused by the fossil fuel, because nuclear power plant does not emit carbon dioxide, SOxs, NOxs. They do not cause environmental problems. They do not cause the greenhouse gas effect and also the acid rains, but the risk is high risk is associated with the nuclear power plants. And instead of using fossil fuel, we can shift to the renewable energy. So if there are some sources of hydro, uh, if there is possibility to run hydropower plants, then we can go for hydropower, solar power, wind power. So likewise, we can switch the fuel in electricity generation system. Then have you heard about hydrogen? Hydrogen can be used as a fuel. So it is in research and development stage, hydrogen cells. And you may heard about fuel cells. In fuel cells, hydrogen is used as the fuel. So it is in research and development stage. Then next method is use energy efficient technologies in commercial and manufacturing and domestic sector. So all of these, the problem, greenhouse gas effect, acid deposition, is occurred due to the fossil fuel burning. So the fossil fuel is burned to make the energy, to make the electricity. So if we consume or if we use energy efficiently, then we can reduce the consumption of those fossil fuels. So uh, the second option is use energy efficient technologies. Okay, so what are the energy efficient technologies? So you can give some examples. So one example is, as for our commercial or domestic sectors, we can say, so instead of using tungsten bulbs or instead of using CFL bulbs, we can use LED bulb. So LED bulb is an energy efficient technology. So likewise, there are many options. So then there are very famous examples I can give you. Uh, there are pedestrian fans. Pedestrian fans, Kitona fan තියෙන්නේ. So the capacity is low than the ceiling fan. And for cooking, we can use pressure cookers instead of using a normal cooker. Then what else? When we operate the blowers, pumps, air compressors, we can use a variable speed drive. VSD. We can use variable speed drive or variable frequency drive to reduce the consumption of electricity. So likewise, there are energy efficient technologies. So I gave you a very small example that instead of using tungsten bulb, we can use LED bulbs. I hope all of you know about it. නේ? ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ නේද? ගෙදර tungsten bulb නේ පරණ මේවා CFL bulb ඒවා වෙනුවට දැන් LED bulb පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Then so when your mother may use a gas cooker, තර ගෑස් කුකර එකෙන් වෙනකොට නිකන් මේ කඩල තම්බනවා නම් ප්‍රෙෂර් කුකර් එකක් පාවිච්චි කළොත් අපිට within 5 minutes 5 to 10 minutes we can boil the chickpeas කඩල. But if you are using a normal pan, කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය භාජනයක් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් පැය භාගයක් විතර කඩලා තම්බන්න ඕන. හරිද? එහෙනම් අද බලන්න දැන් ගෙදරනේ ඉන්නේ කඩලා තම්බන්න අම්මගෙන් අහන කොච්චර වෙලා යනවද කියලා. දරලිපේ නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මේ බයෝමෑස්නේ. But if you are using a gas cooker, LP gas, then it is a problem. Then greater use of renewable energy systems, including fuel wood, which has net zero carbon dioxide emissions. So this is we are talking about mitigation options for greenhouse gas effect. So first the first option is fuel switching. The second option is energy efficient technologies. The third one is use renewable energy systems. So renewable energy, again, the hydropower plants, solar power, wind power. What else? Okay, there are many options. Then biomass. Other one is the biomass. The biomass, example for biomass is the fuel wood. Dara, biomass, fuel wood. So when we are using dara, when we are using fuel wood, what happens? We have to combust them. We have to burn them. So in our factories, in many factories, there are biomass-driven boilers. Biomass-driven boilers. The boiler is operated using fuel wood or biomass. So the fuel wood or sawdust, rice husk, then some wood chips, offcuts coming from the furniture manufacturing factories are taken as the fuel for the for those factories to run the boiler. So boiler is used to make steam, but so there are biomass driven boilers. So during the combustion process of the fuel wood, what happens? CO2 is emitted, but it is called as net zero CO2 emission. It is called as net zero CO2 emissions. So if you are familiar with the carbon cycle, you can understand this, because so there if plant leaves and those parts of the plants trees are also naturally degraded, and at the end during the natural degradation process, the CO2 is emitted into the atmosphere. It is naturally happened, but when we burn them, what happened? Within short period, CO2 is emitted. Okay, so that's why it is called the biomass. When we burn biomass, there is net zero CO2 emission, because one day those fuel wood is converted into CO2 and other matters if it is degraded naturally. Okay. Then the fourth one is use cost reflective pricing. Use cost reflective pricing in the energy sector as a means of improving efficient use of energy. So look at whether you are familiar with this one. So here, so when you look at the CEB website, Ceylon Electricity Board website, you can see the tariff plans for electricity usage for in different sectors. So here this is tariff plans for private residences. So here you can see if the consumption of the electricity in between 0 to 30 kilowatt hour, the unit charge is 2.50 දෙකයි පනහයි. Then if the monthly consumption in between 30 to 60, the unit charge is almost doubled. And if the consumption is above 90, here you can see the consumption is 90, it is almost 30 rupees. It is almost 30. That means the charges were increase rapidly. So what are those things? Those are it is called as cost reflective pricing. So because of this uh, uh, tariff system, tariff systems, so our people, they demotivate to use the higher amount of energy. They are demotivate. Okay, so they like to they know if the consumption rate exceed 90 kilowatt hour, their electricity bill can be double or triple. So likewise, having a good pricing system, we can reduce the consumption of electricity. So once we reduce the consumption of electricity, we can reduce the greenhouse gas effect. We can reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. Then fifth option for the mitigation option is establish forest. Establish forest on degraded or non-forested lands. What is that? So all of you know the plants do the photosynthesis process. Plants or trees are the carbon sinks. They are the carbon sinks. They can absorb the CO2, they can absorb the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere during the photosynthesis process. Okay, so if we want to reduce the carbon dioxide percentage in the atmosphere, we can plant trees. Then they can absorb. They are good carbon sinks. Then promote proper solid waste management with methane recovery. So when you refer the solid waste management lecture, you may learn that from our landfill sites, this methane is emitted. The land from our landfills, methane is emitted. To avoid that, uh, not to avoid, we cannot avoid the emission of methane, but we can collect it. We can collect the methane, and then we have to burn it. We have to burn the methane at the site. So when we burn the methane, methane is converted into CO2 and H2O. Methane plus oxygen, then it is converted into CO2 and H2O. So all of you know now the methane is a powerful greenhouse gas than that of the CO2. Therefore, it is better to burn the methane before it is entered into the atmosphere. So, in our landfill sites, methane is emitted. We cannot stop it because in landfill site, that anaerobic digestion is occurred. Then methane is emitted. Even the CO2 can be emitted, but methane is emitted. It cannot be stopped. It is unavoidable. So we have to establish proper solid waste management system with methane recovery. So the if we cannot uh, collect large amount of methane, so it is better to burn them and release the CO2 and H2O. If there are higher large amount of methane, then we can collect and we can store it, then we can send it, we can use it for another purpose. Methane is the biogas. No, methane is called as the biogas. No, from biogas digesters we take methane, then we can use it for another purpose. Then develop and enforce emission standards in the industrial and transport sectors and energy efficient building codes. So now you know that in our country, the people who have vehicles, they have to do the smoke test for their vehicles. Smoke test. Okay? So the smoke test is done to check whether the engine has good condition. The vehicle engine is operating uh, in good condition or not. So likewise, we can develop and enforce emission standards in the industrial and transport sectors and adapt energy efficient building codes. So nowadays there's a style, there is a wave called green buildings. So you can convert your buildings into a green building. So in green buildings, there are energy efficient technologies, there may be some renewable energy sources, there may be natural ventilation method, natural lighting method, like that. Okay, so we can convert our building into buildings into green building. Then energy conservation, wherever it is possible in the industrial and other sector, energy conservation. So as a community or as an industrial person or as an individual, we can do it. We can switch off unwanted unwanted lights, unwanted computers like that. And the last option is the installation of air pollution control equipment. Okay. The last option of the mitigation of greenhouse gas effect is the installation of air pollution equipment. So what are they? So we can say scrubber. So this is the most important thing as technologists, because uh, you are working in industry, so you can propose your manager or your boss, your employer to uh, do a establish forest or plant some trees. But you should know how to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases or other air pollutants from your process. So for that, we can install air pollution control equipment. So there are many options. So all of you know scrubber. So we can use scrubbers. So CO2 is slightly soluble in water. So some percentage, at least less a few percentage of CO2 can be absorbed by the water scrubber. So our polymer students, you have learned it in the unit operation section conducted by Miss Imesha. And the chemical students, and you all of you know what is a scrubber. Okay, in the acid deposition section, I explained you about the scrubber. So we can use scrubber. So the scrubber liquid may be water or any other liquid. So there are industrial uh, liquids called MEA, monoethanol amine, MEA. So if we use MEA, we can easily absorb the carbon dioxide. Then what else? To catch the CO2, what are the other methods? Okay, now you know about cyclone separator. So we can catch particles from the cyclone separator. So particles are also air pollutants. Then electrostatic precipitators. There are gravity settlers, bag filters. Okay. So from installing those equipments, we can reduce the emission of particles into the atmosphere. But when we talk about the greenhouse gases or SOxes and NOxes, then we can use uh, scrubbers to reduce the release of CO2 into the atmosphere. So these are the as an individual we can do this. We can recycle or compost the solid. We can use recycle solid waste or compost. We can make compost from biodegradable waste as much as possible. Then we can walk or bike for short trip without using three wheel or your vehicles. Then we can turn off computer when not in use, and we can educate others. Okay, you can educate your friends, your colleagues, and your parents, and get involved in action in your community to conserve the energy, to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases by yourself. So this is just a summary about those things. So we can prevent global warming by reducing our waste electricity use. And once we use more efficient light bulbs, again we can prevent the global warming. And by turning down your hot water heater or air conditioner, we can prevent the global warming. And uh, choose to use by using power produced by alternative means rather than by burning fuels. We can reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the end of this section. So I will share this presentation with you. So in other slides, you can find about what is Kyoto Protocol. I'm not going to talk about this one. What is Kyoto Protocol? Then what is Montreal Protocol? And this is one of the picture of landfill site. So in my next lecture, I will explain about the landfills. Okay. Uh, I will do about the solid waste management, because I think I did not include video lectures for landfilling during the previous lockdown. So I hope now you understood what I told. So now I'll stop the recording.